Hello scientists, welcome to DrawMed, the channel that teaches scientists to draw scientific illustrations for their research publications. And today I'll be drawing a heart, and this will be in the nature, similar to the nature review style, but with a different twist. And if you like these videos, please give a thumbs up and subscribe, and also share with your colleagues. That can really help me to keep on growing this channel. So without further ado, let's start to draw the heart. I will be following the dissection photo. It will be my main source of the structure because that's what I learned while I was studying my master's degree. It's always better to follow the anatomy specimen because people can do their own artistic alternation in illustrations. So it's always better to follow what the actual structure is. So yeah. I will start by drawing the general shape of the heart. So I'll grab the pen tool and just very quickly trace the outer shape of the heart. I will speed up some of the parts to make the video more fluid. Okay, then I will draw the atrium. That is the right atrium here. You see this little patched structure over here. That is the atrium. And I will put it over here. And then I will draw the right atrium. Okay, and next I will be drawing the pulmonary trunk. So just very quickly, like that. Just a very rough general shape, and then put it here. And then the aortic arch. So let's put it on here. Great. We also fix this a little bit. Okay, so I will put this to the front, and then these are the three branches of the aortic arch. So I will just quickly put some rectangles on top of it, so they will later be the branches. And this one is a little bit bigger in our specimen, so I will also make it a bit bigger. Okay, we can't really see the two vena cava in the specimen, but I will still add it on by myself. So this is also with a rectangle. This is the superior vena cava, and this is the inferior vena cava. There's one more thing that we need to do. That is the two branches of the pulmonary arteries. So just very quickly make a horizontal rectangle here. So now we have the overall shape of the heart, and we can start to refine it. The first thing I will do is to put color into the shapes so we can separate each part even clearer. So I will come here to put in the light orange color that you usually see for muscles, and now this orange is too saturated. I will come to the color guide to make it lighter. Yeah, I think this is good for now. That will be our muscle color. I will put this color into our swatch boxes so I can reuse it later. And then for the vena cava, I will use a blue over here, and this is also too saturated, so here. This is the lighter version of the blue that we are using. And for the artery, for the aorta and the branches, I will put on a red here, also make it lighter with this one. Okay, great. Okay, and the two atriums will be the same color as the ventricles, so I will just put them there. So the pulmonary arteries, they are in the same color as vena cava because they also have hypoxic blood. Okay, now we are ready with the overall color, and I will move it over here a little bit so we can get a better look at how we should fill in the gradient to create the volume. Here I will put in a radial gradient and like that, and then put in to the orange that we're using and move it down a little bit. Okay, and now you see that we are starting to have some volume of the ventricles. And then let's work on our atrium, our right atrium, and we can just pick the eyedropper tool and then click on the ventricle. Then we will have a replication of the gradient. Okay, and as you see in the Nature Review example, they have depicted the right atrium bigger. I also do that in the heart that I'm drawing because then that's a more conventional view of the heart. I will use the direct selection tool to start manipulating the anchor points. I also do the same thing for the left atrium over here. So very quickly, and now I will work on the pulmonary arteries. The right pulmonary artery should go under the aorta. So let's do some small adjustments to make it look like it is going underneath the aorta. Select both of the pulmonary arteries and then use the Pathfinder tool to unite both of them. Okay, now let's go back to the direct selection tool by pressing A and select this anchor point and just drag on the corner widget, and then you can round the corner. And here I will do a little bit different by selecting both of the anchor points here and come to the control panel and click on convert selected anchor points to smooth. Then you can have a more like a curvature shape over here, and when you adjust the handle, and it will look like a rounded cross section. So I will remove this anchor point here to make the transition smoother. If you want to show a little bit more of the right pulmonary artery, you can move this anchor point over here and then drag on the corner widget. And we will now work a little bit more on the aorta. Okay, and now let's select all of these. So let's select all of the red part and then go to the Pathfinder tool to unite all of them. We also need to make these into a round cross section, and we will do it here by just drawing an ellipse, and then let's put it on top of the branches. Okay, that's great. And now finally we will do the same thing to the vena cava. The inferior vena cava, I will use that smooth anchor point function and then adjust the handle to vertical. Then you can have also a rounded cross section. Okay. Now we're having, now the shape of the heart is starting to appear. So we are on the right track. And now I'll put on the coronary arteries and veins. So first I will put on the left coronary artery. So let's grab the pencil tool over here and draw a path that comes originated from the in-between of the pulmonary trunk and the left atrium. So this will be, this part will be the left coronary artery. So if once you put the red into the stroke, then you see that it is starting to look a little bit like the blood vessel. And then let's increase the size of it to 3. Let's see if it's too thick. Yeah, I think it is too thick. Let's see, 2. Okay, and by selecting the path and then come here to like variable width profile, open the drop down menu, and I will use the width profile 4. Then you see it will automatically help you to make the ending of the path thinner. All right, and that's then I will make some branches. Okay, now we have the arteries, and I will put on some veins. Even though in the Nature Review example they don't have the veins, but I will still put them on. Okay, so you can see the gradients can make the blood vessels look more 3D. And for the vena cava, we will need the linear gradient. So I will do it here like that. This 50%. Okay. And this, I will just use the eyedropper tool to copy it. And I will very quickly do some adjustments on of these vessels. And all right. This part, need to fix it a little bit more so it can look like it is going underneath. And to make it really go underneath, I will use opacity mask to cover it. So I will create this, and I'll go this and opacity mask, make mask, and then you see that this part will be cutting off. And I will go into the opacity mask to edit it. Okay, great. And once you're done with the editing of the mask, make sure you go back to the appearance and then come back to here to the normal mode, so you can edit other parts of the illustrations. And I will fix this a little. Okay, great. And here, that's use the direct selection tool to select. Let's use the corner widget to round these corners so they look more organic. Okay, and we need to do the same opacity mask over here to make the connection to make the pulmonary trunk to fuse into the ventricles. So I will go back to the opacity tab and then go into the mask mode and just copy that mask we had. And then you see that as you move the mask, it will cover up whatever that. To make it look a little bit more natural, we need to blur it. So let's go to Effect, Gaussian Blur, and see that if you blur the mask, then like a miss the transition between the two structures. So then it will look okay. And once that's done, let's exit the mask mode. And I will adjust this part. Finally, so the last part I will work on will be the these cross-section of the vessels. So you will see that you can look into the tube a little bit more. So let's make a copy of the ellipse, and then I will just quickly add a darker color, and we will need a gradient in this cross section. So let's go to our gradient tool and apply a linear gradient, and then drag that dark color in, and then the vessel color that we usually have over here. And the light in these scientific illustrations, they usually come from the upper left side. So I will need to switch the gradient to the other direction, so then the light looks like it's coming from the other side. Okay, great. And that's okay. But you see that this part is merging with the structure a little bit, so I will make that part a little bit darker. Yeah. So now it will look like a tube, and I will just copy this and lay it over another vessel. Then we will have the blood vessel. Okay, so we also need a transition over here on the atrium to the vena cava. So we will use the opacity mask again. And remember to leave the mask mode. And so that's how you draw a schematic heart for your graphic abstract. And I hope this can help you with your research publication. And please give a thumbs up if you like this video. And let me know in the comments that what you like to learn about scientific illustrations, and subscribe to Drawball Math for more of these tutorials. I look forward to seeing you in the future videos.